Hi, everyone. Venus here with NYCRA Live. Today's episode, we have a really exciting guest with us. And as an adult educator, when I really looked into this program, I was like excited to be the one talking to them because I have been doing adult education for 25 years, and I really believe in the power of giving people tools. And so when I read all about this program, it was really exciting because they really offer these programs to, and they target communities that often get overlooked. So this is going to be really good and informative stuff. So you want to listen and maybe take notes so that if you need any kind of education for your employees, as more licensees are coming in, more stores are opening, we're here to create a whole new educated marketplace. So, without any hesitation, I am bringing our lovely guest, Beatrice Stein, today here with us from Hospitality Pathways. And welcome, Beatrice. Nice to have
Thank
you here
you.
with us.
Thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here today. Thank you.
Likewise, actually, this morning when I was scrolling,
Mhm.
I saw that you had Esta from Cornell doing your class, and that was my teacher because I am also a CWI trainer.
Got it. Yes. Esther comes to every class for
Yeah,
us. She's amazing and
she really is.
always the same questions. The funny thing is they ask what's the statute of limitations because they're talking about past employers and
Right.
they're asking her can they go after them. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, she's a well of information when you want to
Wow.
know about labor things. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to let you go take over. I'm
Okay.
really excited to hear all about the program. So I'm going to remove myself and I'll see you all later.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'm Beatrice Stein. I'm the founder and director of Hospitality Pathways. We are a nonprofit that trains people for positions as bud tenders for retail cannabis here in the five boroughs of New York City. We can go to yeah. So we all know the New York stats, right? There's been stops and starts, and the projections are quite large. I believe at this point now they say they're going to give out 420 retail licenses. So let's hope that's the way it is, and not become another lawsuit. But that's what we're looking at. And next slide, thank you. Venus, yeah, thank you. So the problem is there's not people educated and ready for this. We train people for these positions because they don't because they need the knowledge. So one of the first things that we say in our very first class is that you know about weed, but you don't know anything about cannabis, and they're very different. And the students kind of look at me like I'm crazy, but they get it. They understand once they start to learn, they realize, wow, I had no idea about many of these things that we start to learn in class. Anybody who's opened a restaurant or worked in the restaurant industry knows that your frontline staff makes or breaks your business. The servers, the bartenders in restaurants, they make or break your business. They drive sales. So that's what we're doing. We're training people for those hospitality like positions in the front of the house. Excuse me, in the front of the house of retail cannabis. So let's go to the next slide. Bud tenders. Bud tenders are crucial to your business. They bring in they drive sales, they drive guest interaction, they drive guest return, they drive all of this. They're educators, they drive all of this by representing your establishment. They also drive it by representing brands, the brands that they know about, the brands that they understand, the brands that they've tried themselves, the brands that they've visited, whatever it may be. They're talking about, they're educating people because they're the experts. And so that's what our program does. We're training people to be experts. Next slide, please. So our solution is to create this, to give economically marginalized communities the opportunity for these jobs. So our program is quite intense, and it takes them through a vast amount of information, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and it prepares them for higher wages. So they're starting at between 18 and 25 an hour, and they're set for rapid growth because they're so far advanced in their knowledge when they get in, that they're set for rapid growth. So that brings them a higher salary, it brings them more benefits, and helps them opportunities to take care of not only themselves but their families, opportunities they didn't have before in the regular job market. They were marginalized out, and our program and our training takes them to that next level. Next slide. Okay. So cannabis is the new hospitality sector. Whatever you want to think about it, that bud tender position is like a hospitality position, 100%. And so we focus on that, and the knowledge about cannabis and their hospitality skills. Those hospitality skills are what set them apart from everywhere else. And you all know it when you go like into maybe a dispensary and you've asked questions and they didn't know anything about it, or they didn't know how to interact, or they said go to the kiosk, or they said, well, here's the products. They're not you can't talk about something you're not comfortable with. And so the education in hospitality gives them the skills that they need to be able to have impactful interactions with guests. So we get our students from the 5 boroughs. They come from all 5 boroughs. They come from community-based organizations all over the 5 boroughs, the city. We're looking at like people that come from NYCRA, Urban Upbound, Henry Street Settlement, Drive Change. We have about 30 different organizations that we partner with. When we start recruiting, we look to these organizations to look at their communities and then bring us students. For an example, we are currently in the 3rd week of a 4-week class that started March 4th, and it ends on March 29th. We had 865 people apply for a 20-seat class. That's how many people have an interest not only in the education, but also in these jobs. And our partners help us find those people. So our cohort model is very specific. It's not like any other training that you see for cannabis. So it's an 80 hours of training plus 80 plus hours. So those students have to come, they're required to come every day. So they are putting in 80 plus hours. It's a 4-week course. It runs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're trying to accommodate a lot of our students are parents or single parents. It allows them to drop off for school, pick up after school, or get things done before pickup. So that time frame works for lots of our students. It also helps them learn about time management, which I'll talk about in a minute. So the education is 2 certifications. The first one is Green Flower. It's cannabis knowledge from seed to sale. They learn about the endocannabinoid system, terpenes, cannabinoids, all the different types of methods of consumption. What is onset? What is duration? How to read a label? All of the things that they need to know in order to be able to be intelligent and educated in front of the guest. The second certification is a responsible vendor. It trains them on the New York regulations, so they're fully know all of the New York laws and regulations. It trains them on how to properly card, because everybody has to be carded, and then safety and security in that dispensary workplace. Okay, so we combine that with my training in hospitality, because again, I come from the hospitality industry, and we train them on how to really have impactful interactions with all of their guests. So that's practice. We have a little cannabis store that we set up. We have Dutchie, which is the POS system. So they learn Dutchie. They learn how to interact, how to complete sales, how to bag items. They learn all of that in that hospitality aspect of it. We work with them on a lot of their soft skills, like time management, being on time. If they come to class late, they could be locked out of that class for that day. If they come back from break late, they could locked out of class that day. And I tell them this will not work in your work environment. So we're preparing them for the work environment. We work with them on teamwork, uh, conflict resolution, and also we talk about harassment. What's the difference between conflict, bullying, and harassment? We help them with their resume and interviewing skills. We educate them about their rights as employees. As Venus mentioned, Esther Bigler comes from Cornell and CWI. And also Local 338 comes to talk to them about what's an LPA and what does that mean. So they're educated just about their employee rights. And then we do a couple of tours. We go upstate to 2 farms. So they get to see illegal grow, manufacturing, all of that, which is for most of them mind-blowing and really exciting. It's hard to keep them focused because they're so excited about everything. And then we visit some licensed dispensaries here in the city, like Etain, which is a medical dispensary, Housing Works, Verde, um, Gotham. So we visit, and these are dispensaries where our graduates are working. We bring in subject matter experts to deep dive on all kinds of topics. Like we bring in a medical dispensary pharmacist to talk about the endocannabinoid system, the ECS system. We bring in partners to talk about terpenes and cannabinoids and flower. We bring in our graduates who want to contribute to the new students. So we have graduates that come in and tell their stories and tell about what they learned from hospitality pathways and what how does that relate to their job and their positions. So we're bringing a lot together. It's constantly moving. The class is nonstop for that 9 to 1 slot. And then we bring in vendors to talk about their products, so they have product knowledge. So with that, with the Dutchie POS, they're really, when they graduate, they're plug and play into any environment. They know New York, not all of them, but quite a few of the New York vendors. They know how to use the POS. They're knowledgeable about cannabis and how it interacts with the body. And they know how to interact with guests in those hospitality-like skills. And hopefully they're good employees because we've trained them on some of the soft skills. So that's the cohort model for our students. Social equity. So lots of people in cannabis in New York and around the country talk about social equity, but it's one thing to talk about. It's another thing to give people the tools that they need. And that's where we stand out from many other programs. We pay our students a $200 a week stipend. So that means for their 4 weeks, they get $800 in total. We give them every Monday, we give them a weekly unlimited Metro card so they don't have to worry about how to get to and from class. And then we provide them with a meal every day because many of our students are food insecure. So we're giving them what they need so that they can study and focus on what they're learning. We have very low drop-off rate. If any drop off, it happens before class starts. We offer the seats and somebody will drop off before class starts. But once class starts, we hardly ever have anybody drop off. They don't have to stress about being there. They don't have to stress about how to get there. They don't have to stress about what they're going to eat. And they have $200. We'd like to get it to minimum wage, but we're just not there yet with fundraising. So that's our social equity aspect. And the students really appreciate it and are grateful for that. And it says, and they tell us that it makes a huge difference. So we have lots of success stories. We have graduates working in almost all of the legal dispensaries, not all of them because there's so many more opening now, but we have graduates working all of them. They're the highest sellers and the most requested bud tenders. They are training other bud tenders because their knowledge is so far advanced. We've had a couple of graduates tell us that they know more than their managers, which I love. So their managers go to them and ask them questions, which I love. We've got now 5 graduates that have moved into supervisory positions within less than a year. We have 1 graduate that's already a brand rep and making very good, huge money and in that growth and getting lots of perks from that, a car, phone, and a laptop. So they're highly successful in the workplace and they're moving up rapidly because they're so far advanced. Their skill set is so far advanced. So we're really, really proud of our success rate. So far we've had we're right now in the third week. We just ended the third week of our fifth cohort. We had one cohort at the end of 2022, well before any dispensary had opened. We have a graduate from that class that got the first job at the first dispensary at Housing Works and moved into a supervisory position then within 30 days of being hired at Housing Works. So by January, they opened in December. By January, he was already a lead bud tender in supervisory position. We had 3 cohorts last year, and then we're in our first cohort of 2024. Like I said, we had 865 people apply for a 20-seat class. One person dropped out before the class started, and so we have 19 students that have put the work in so far. Next week is their last week. They graduate at the end of on Friday, and we hold a job fair the day before graduation, so that we invite employers who are hiring so they can meet and greet our graduates. So hopefully by a week from Monday, they will have jobs if all works out well. That's what we hope for. We don't guarantee employment, but we do everything we can to introduce our students to employers. So, like I said, I come from the hospitality industry. I was born and raised in the restaurant industry. My parents had a hot dog stand when I was 3. They named it after me and kind of sealed my fate in the industry. I'm not in the kitchen. Don't ask. You don't want to see my knife skills. That's not my area of expertise. But I am front of the house, service trainer, and and operations is more my specialty. I became a director of training and development for many restaurant groups, and then saw the need for training marginalized people for jobs in restaurants before COVID. And that's when I began Hospitality Pathways. When COVID happened and there were no restaurants and no consulting and no jobs to be had, and cannabis was becoming legalized, I started to do the research and realized that the same skill set that you need to be successful in a restaurant is the same skill set you need to be a bud tender, retail cannabis, to be interactive with guests. And so I just created a whole new curriculum with the cannabis knowledge. Instead of learning about food and booze, you learn about cannabis. So it's the same hospitality skill set. So that's a little bit about me. And then we're obviously a nonprofit, so we rely on sponsorship, grants, donations to continue the programming. It's about 50K per cohort, and we are always fundraising, always looking for donors, always looking for support. So if you love what we're doing, please go to hospitalitypathways.org and hit that donate button and help us out. If you want to talk about sponsorship and large donations, please reach out to me. I am the fundraiser director and founder of Hospitality Pathways. So, and again, it's Beatrice at hospitalitypathways.org is how you can reach me. So that is all about us and what we do.
That was amazing. I loved it. I loved it. I was just, my fingers were going. I was writing notes because, like I said, I'm an educator. So I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Oh, so many things that I just want to bring back up, right? Number one, I just have to say the fact that you all provide the support for people to make it there, have food, like all the things that
Yes.
make just getting there
Yes.
difficult. That
Yes.
that is so amazing. I love how you're considering the person as an individual, their whole life. They're, like you said, they have children, the hours, we thought of that, the transportation, the stipend, because that is the challenges that often make people quit, and they can't finish
Absolutely.
because life and gets in the way.
Right. You
Yeah,
know, we
yeah,
we get, we understand if they call out because they have childcare issue or a child is sick or whatever like that. We allow that, but
yeah.
really we ask them to commit
Oh, yeah.
to the 20 days, to the 4 weeks. And honestly, they do. We have very little attendance issues. If someone has severe attendance issues, we tell them, listen, you've missed too much information, you need to drop out. And that's only happened once in the now the 5 cohorts.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
I'm
very
sure people are so excited. Like, I also loved how you said a lot of people know about weed, but they don't know about cannabis. And that's true. I mean, my generation, right? I'm coming from the, where that's what we called it. We called it weed. We called
Yes,
it herb. We called
yes,
it, different like cess and different things. But now, even just learning the new language of cannabis, it's
yes,
a whole new language. I had lunch with some people in the industry yesterday, and
mhm,
a mutual friend that connected us who's not in the
right.
industry was just sitting there, and I go, "You feel like you're hearing another language, right?" And he's like, yep, I'm just chilling."
It's
But I,
what's fascinating is when, the green flower that they learn, there are 12 modules. And so we provide them with a tablet if they don't have their own tablet or laptop in the
wow,
classroom. So they do that first module, which is about endocannabinoid system, the ECS,
yeah,
and their eyes are glazed over and they're like, "Oh, damn." They call me Miss B. So they're, "Damn, Miss B, I didn't know any of this. Now it makes sense. Why
absolutely,
sometimes I smoke, it feels like this. Why sometimes this happens." All of a sudden, they're relating what they're learning to themselves. And I
yes,
said, "Good, this is good because now you know people coming in how you need to talk to them
yeah,
about this because other people are just like you, thinking you're a weed expert. You've been smoking for 20 years or whatever it is. You don't know shit about I tell them all the time,
perfect.
you don't know shit about cannabis."
I love it. That's your line. I love that. That should be the tagline for the
Yes,
program.
exactly. You think
It's
you know we
true.
you're an expert on weed, but you don't know
Yeah.
shit about cannabis.
I want a shirt with that. That's how good that is. And like, like I shared in the intro that I have the connection for being one of the trainers.
Right,
Even myself, that I have been even before the class educating myself more and more as legalization came about. And I still was amazed at certain things, like learning deeper about terps,
right,
learning deeper about the
right,
endocannabinoid system. We have this, I feel cheated out
yes,
of knowing my own anatomy
right.
by not having this taught to me. I come from a health background. I've been a doula for 25 years. I was a
Wow,
secondhand home birth midwife for just as long. I
wow,
ran practices, and as much anatomy, one, two, advanced,
right,
extra, supplemental, I never, all the systems we learned about, we
right.
never heard
Never
that.
learned about that.
And out of all the plants on this beautiful planet that are healthful for us, we
Right,
don't have a broccoloid system. We don't
right.
have a kaleanoid system.
No,
We have an
no
endocannabinoid
cannabinoid
system.
system.
So, people like me that were born into a family of cannabis consumers,
Right.
um, just feeling like my whole life has been validated in this
And all
movement
of a sudden,
now.
so many things about when you consume and how you consume,
Yeah,
all of a sudden makes sense. Like
yeah,
I can see the lights going off, like
yeah,
light bulbs over their heads, and they're like,
absolutely.
"Oh, I get it now. Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah,
And so it's really fascinating to watch the learning process as they learn more
yeah.
and more information. Yeah.
Yeah, the more I do this work, the more I feel the parallels of my previous and border life, also still there with birth. That when
Right.
I started doing this, no one knew what a doula was. No
Right.
one knew about all these options and
Right.
midwives and the different things you can do. So
Right.
it's like I almost feel that same excitement. So I'm a childbirth educator as well,
Right.
to like tell people these things.
Terpenes. People are like blown away by
Yeah,
terpenes.
yeah. We all knew about aromatherapy. Well, guess
Yes.
what?
Right.
There's
Here
so
it
much
is.
more to that. So yeah, I love, love, love education. I'm a
Yes.
lifelong student. I'm a lifelong educator. I like I said, I just took this training yesterday. Actually, I did my seed to sale final, and I'm all signed off and ready to go. And I'm so
Good for you.
excited
That's exciting.
to bring that into my community, and keep spreading the word, because all these programs, beyond giving stores and the customer an educated, pleasant experience, it's bigger than that. It's
Right.
creating a conscious cannabis community,
Yes.
and an
Absolutely.
educated,
Educated.
elevated, right?
Elig Oh, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Like
100%.
your program like says, like some people wouldn't have access to this level of training,
No.
right? So we're bringing people educated, high level.
Mhm.
Oh, and also I wrote down so much on my notebook to bring up. I was all excited.
There's a
How
I was like, I got a lot of I got the spiel down. I had to, like,
you did
get it all out.
amazing. And like what you said about Dutchy, them being ready to go. Do you know how
Yeah,
valuable you do? You know how valuable that is, that
right,
you come with an edge, you come ready. A company doesn't have to waste time or spend time
right,
or resources on training you how to do this. You
right.
come, you're ready to go.
Ready to
And
go.
that is so valuable. So
Right,
it helps everybody, store
yes,
owner, employees, the public. It just, again, I'll say it again, it brings back that conscious, elevated, educated, mature, cannabis community that we're all working toward building.
right, exactly, exactly.
The better a consumer is educated, it's better overall, because now
Absolutely,
they'll know, like you said, oh, this could help for this. It's
right,
not just about smoking and getting high.
right.
There's topicals, there's people that need it, like all the different
All
levels
the
of
different
how
angles. Yes.
we're out there now to educate the public, and I'm super excited, and I'm sure we'll cross paths in this
Absolutely.
work, I'm sure.
Oh, I
And with
hope
the
so.
NYCRA referrals,
Yes.
sending people, and just
Yeah.
all these amazing programs. Like, I really hope that when you watch this, you will go to the website and you will take advantage of the information if you're interested
Right.
in working in this industry. Education, education, education. Somebody
Yeah.
can, oh, I have a friend to hook you up with a job, but if you don't know when you get there, that's
Right.
going to slow you down and slow other people down.
Right.
So
Right.
taking these courses is it's amazing too that we can do this
Yeah, I know. I know. It is amazing. It
and
is
support
amazing.
it the way you all support your students. That's
Yeah.
also a huge part of it,
Right.
because it's hard. It's hard to the bridge, the gas, the train, the this, the that. It
Yeah.
all adds up. And then it also creates a happy workforce when people
Yeah.
feel empowered and able, and it
Yeah.
creates harmony within the workplace. So yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk all the praises about the educational. You got
Yes,
me.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody is interested in being a student of the program, you should follow us on social media at Hospitality Pathways. It's where we announce new classes. We don't have a new class right now. After this one graduates, we're doing some fundraising in April. We're doing an online auction in April to raise some money. So if we raise enough money in April, we'll have a class probably June. But follow us on social media so you'll be able to find out when the next class is. That's the best way.
And
Uh,
you said, what was your page again?
it's Hospitality Pathways.
Okay. And also you said you had the website.
And then our website, if you want to donate, is hospitalitypathways.org.
Wonderful. Yes. Donate to amazing
Please.
organizations that are actually doing the work. They're actually doing
Yes.
the footwork in the communities, bringing to the people, making it easy for you. I mean, if you're interested in joining the workforce, I mean, they've made it so easy. There's no excuse, really. There's no excuse. You have the support, you have the information. You can also always go to our website if you're scrolling, looking at all the amazing uh, deals and connections you could get through the NYCRA website, New York Cannabis Retail Association.org.
Yeah.
And we'll also have information about hospitality pathways there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us. This is
Thank you.
great.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure to work with you. And thank you for
Likewise.
having me.
Amazing. Yes, likewise. I love when I have people that I get excited. Some of the things might be a little bit too heady for me, some of the
Right.
tech stuff, but when it's something that, like, my wheelhouse, education,
Yes.
people, real life, I get really excited. So I definitely will be telling people that they need to take this course whenever I hear interest in the industry.
Yeah. And if you're a license holder and you're looking for staff, please reach out to me.
I mean, yes, that's a
Absolutely.
very important point. Yes, if you're
Absolutely.
looking for, yes, and if you do classes inside of dispensaries for the people?
We can if they want us to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. I
yeah.
have a seminar that I do that's just a hospitality workshop. that
Okay.
I go around anywhere in the state, actually anywhere in the country I can do that. It's really about hospitality in that retail environment, and sort of the skills that you need to do that. So it's about a 2.5 to 3 hour workshop about hospitality for retail cannabis. So yeah, you can reach out to me
Amazing.
for that too. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you all for watching another Live with NYCRA. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.